Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, I did it. I pressed the live button. We're 3 minutes early, and I pressed the live button anyway. I got no self-control. Oh, my God. Cue the wife laughing at me right now. That's exactly where she would step in and start laughing at me. That's why I love her. 11:57 a.m. on a Friday, September 11th. Y'all know what day it is? It's a hell of a day. I remember this day a long, long time ago. It was an impact on all of us. Well, we're not here to be melodramatic, but yeah, it's pretty damn gloomy just thinking about it. And a lot of complexities about what's going on with the virus nowadays. But this isn't a show about that. This is a show. This is a show about some serious financial shit. Paul's in the house. What's up, brother from Berlin? I love it. Did you bite it? Just nibble. Dave Millett, yeah. Sam's in the house. Amsterdam today. Always a pleasure. We got a crew today. So we got a hot topic. As you guys can see, we're talking about value, accumulation, gold, crypto, and equities. Risk analysis. This title kind of sucks. The whole point that I wanted to get across with today's stream, other than my normal digressions, commentary, feedback, and stuff that I put up on the big board, I want to talk about 3 words. Swap it over to the fancy screen. Invest, save, and value. Now, we've been lied to. They've lied to us. The teachers, the system, the politicians, even our very parents. Hey, Ma, you did it wrong. Then the meatloaf. Where's the meatloaf? I always wanted to do that. She didn't hear me. Too bad. Invest, save, and value. We've been lied to, ladies and gentlemen. Investing is not spending. Dollars are not money anymore. So, if we're going to take dollars that some company chooses to give us in exchange for our hours, our work, it's not even money. They're giving us dollars, US dollars. It's not money. By definition. By definition. Not money. And we do what with it? What does investing mean? We're not going to spend those dollars on gold, on equities, on crypto, because we get something back that's actually better than the dollars used to acquire the asset. So that's not spending. You are not spending money if you're getting equities. You're not spending money if you're getting gold. You're not spending money if you are getting most crypto. Sure as hell gambling if you're getting a lot of equities and a lot of crypto, but that's another story. The point being, you are not spending. You are spending money if you buy food. You are spending money if you buy something that is going to go bye-bye. You're spending money if you're getting something disposable or a consumable. That is spending money. Now, no doubt we need to spend money to live. Get a Subway sandwich. I'm going to spend some money. I'm just saying. Charlie's in the house. Always a pleasure. Yes, brother. Question, just curious. How is tax regulation on crypto in the U.S.? Yeah, we're fucked in the U.S. In Europe, you have to hold a minimum of 1 year. After that, it's tax-free. Yeah, we got long-term and short-term capital gains. Long-term capital gains are better, but short-term capital gains are pretty bad. So these boys want 25% of everything we get. And long-term, yeah, they're going to probably, I don't know the number, 10%, 15%. They're still trying to take a huge amount of our money. And that's not fair, but that is what it is. Jersey Shore in the house, always a pleasure. Chef Novi gave the 14 mil back. Yeah, I saw that just before I jumped on the stream. I'm not even going to get started on that shit. Cryptopher says, no, I was wondering how much Red Dark Node is earning per day right now. Yeah, let's pull it up. Mainnet. So it's been very lucrative recently. I mean, there's so much volume going through it. So, I'm not near making back my initial investment, but I'm saying let me connect to my red dark nodes right now. Just so you guys see what it's like when someone owns an actual dark node. I have three of them if they connect. Sometimes. Yeah, there you go. So I got a fair amount. It's been 4 months, so this I believe is the fourth epoch. And I have 174 that's withdrawable and 163 that's pending. What's that, 350 give or take? Let's say three and a quarter. So three and a quarter times three, it's 975. I have almost $1,000 in returns on my dark nodes. Now I did not buy Ren at the current prices, so uh, but still, it's going to be a fair amount of time. But let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Without revealing the price at which I acquired my Ren, it would take me a little over a year to make back my entire Ren investment at current. If this current return was monthly, you do a little math and figure that shit out. Pellets in the house, always a pleasure. Barry, yes. Digibyte. Hi, Digibyte. I love my Digibyte. Currency should be something the community decides to be a currency. So so. Bear in mind that's what cryptocurrency in many regards is offering the people to have that power once again. Um, the value of most cryptocurrencies is consensus. And the problem with the vast majority of these DeFi, especially the garbage that's pumped on Uniswap, and then this stuff that has no real utility, and these governance assets used to incentivize 1,000% returns, they're going to have horrible volatility. The consensus is going to define the price, but the consensus is going to change substantially. Now, this happened. This is the same with anything I've ever seen in 2017, and the same phenomena happens in even the equity space when there's hype and there's sexy to buy the DeFi assets. But the second all that goes bye-bye, the consensus is going to drive the price down just as fast as it went up, maybe even down faster. So I like to tell people there's no reason you can't buy garbage. And there's some really good players, Crypto Messiah. I love these boys on Twitter. They're hilarious. Was it Ape Together Strong? I love these guys. It's so much. But they're going to dump on you, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're going to get their profits. There's going to be a lot of FOMO, and unfortunately, the people that have no idea what they're doing, they're going to lose money. But they're doing what they do. Now, that's why I talk about what I talk about on my stream. I don't want folks getting wrapped up in that. Folks that have no idea what they're doing investing, maybe never invested before in their life, buying assets that are extremely volatile, where other more experienced persons are going to make money. So people easily get convinced that there is a lot of money to be made, but rightfully so, because there is a lot of money to be made. But without adequate experience, knowing how to protect gains, when to sell on the way up and on the way down, that elevator of price comes down really quick when it's risk off. You got 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% losses. So, and it's more complicated than that because I'm not going to put 100 grand in the sushi trying to get 100 grand. But here's an interesting one. Let's pull up the winners. I believe the winner is still. Can't believe sushi. So obviously the 24-hour changes have been substantially coming down over the last couple of days, probably for a week now. Last Thursday it really dipped. Where's Loopring? Didn't I see Loopring up here earlier today in the 24-hour? Did it really pull back that quick? Oh, such volatility. It's horrible. Even with an asset that I was hoping didn't have such volatility, it proves to have the volatility. Loopring has done well. So Yearn is something I'm always interested in. That's a level 2 DeFi protocol that basically does strategic auto investing. It's automated DeFi. That's some cool stuff, and that's why it has done what it has done. Synthetics is a big deal. Absolutely big deal. I don't know. This is going to evaporate at some point. This is an abs. What's going on? Chico Crypto talks about it quite well. What I really hope to do with my stream is to get people to avoid this shit and not dive into it and try and understand it and try and make money off it. To me, I don't have time for it. Maybe it's because I'm older. Maybe it's because I've been through 2017. But to me, the appropriate thing to do is more strategic and less emotion and more rationality and thought process and logic and reason and all that, those fancy words. Let's do it right. Now, I like to see this up here, Celsius Network, because I've been very tempted to place a large portion of my retirement portfolio with them and grab yield, real yield that'll accumulate and grow, and I'll have a very reasonable retirement if so. But there's comes the risk reward with a centralized organization having control over my assets. But that's nothing new. You put your money in Fidelity, that's just the same exact thing. Whoopie-doo, the FDIC says you got an insurance. Yeah, that just means you're hopeful the insurance pays in case shit happens. That's what Chris Rock say it so long ago. That's what insurance is, in case shit. And in case shit doesn't happen, do you get your money back? No, you don't get your money back. That's what insurance is. Pellets wants, yeah, crypto for 173 a month. It's probably, well, this past month it was 173. So there's your answer on that one. Can I get a brief intro on gold, silver miners, silver streamers? Yeah, Barrick Gold is hot, but the big deal, wheat and precious metals, and oh my God, I haven't checked my equities account in a while. Franco Nevada, Newmont, and that's pretty much the four that I have. Um, there's gold bugs that are way into like the juniors, the junior miners and streamers, but those four uh, will have done justice. I'm up probably 10-15% on those portfolio assets. Um, so gold and silver miners and streamers are leveraged gold positions. They're proxy for gold, but they're going to have amplified volatility. Um, my general opinion is, uh, shit, it's all about accumulating. And let's go back. Let me go through the comments real quick, and then I want to go back to the title of the stream before I digress through the through the entire stream. Uh, Andre is in the hat. Andre, I hope it's Andre. Andre. Okay, my man. Um, Nathan, how many top 100 will still be top 100 in 5 years? Probably not the vast majority of them. Charlie, I'm loving Alex. So there you go, Alex Mashinsky. Good stuff. Hot topic, Noah, Binance Smart Chain. I have no interest. I don't have time for that garbage. I have no interest in it. Um, Noah, can you talk about the Sparta platform and Acropolis? Acropolis, I have a good position, maybe about 0.5% of my portfolio, maybe a little less. But to me, that's a good position. I look forward to it. I think Acropolis has a good deal. Let's DeFi Pulse. Take a peek at this. So where does Acropolis fit in to the DeFi picture? That's like actually it's a Yearn Finance. Acropolis is a Yearn. I don't know about Cream. I don't know much about it. I don't buy into it. 255 million. Insta app. Acropolis is an Insta app. It has automated functionality, automated DeFi functionality. Acropolis is a uh, not diversify. Zapper is like a DeFi saver. It's a level 2 DeFi protocol. Automates DeFi functionality. So Acropolis is good. Don't go throw 20% of your portfolio unless you really know what you're doing. Meaning it's volatile. Like if you this is obviously the 4 hour, so this is a massive run. That's hundreds of percent. But if you're looking at the 15-minute, there you go. What's the drawdown? The drawdown since September is huge. So this is why you just can't throw around money. And this is why you sell on the way up and on the way down. I mean, look at this. Come on, guys. You put your retirement savings in there, 100 grand, and you're down $45,000. So this isn't how you do it. But on the other hand, if you know the technical analysis and you know, like, look, this is, if you're watching the 15-minute chart, this is brilliant right here. Check it out. And you see this giant run up, you know it's going to pull back because of how far deviated it is from a moving average, the fat white line. So you're selling on the way up, selling on the way up. It starts to pull back, it starts to pull back. You're probably holding on about 20-30% of your position still around here. And then bam, you see it hold support on the 200 EMA. And you're like, cool, I still got 20 to 30% of my position. You're riding it, you're riding it, you're riding it, and you do it again. You're selling on the way up, selling on the way up. You probably have about 10% of your position left at around here. It starts to fall, and it hits the 200 EMA, and bam, maybe you get out. Or maybe you just hold the 10% of your position, and maybe you're still holding the 10% of your position down here. I wouldn't. So what I would do is, if it bounced off the 200 EMA, good. If it fell through the 200, see, I'd be out right here. This is a perfect example where I'd be out. It falls through the 200 EMA. So now some assets will fall through, it'll pull back up, and then it'll keep going. But I would have been out. This is the safe, this is the smart exit point. If it falls through the 200 EMA to the downside, or 200 SMA, or some moving average that is meaningful, you exit. Quick to sell, picky to buy, protect your gains, sell on the way up and on the way down. Do not ride this. And this is a highly volatile asset, has a relatively small market cap compared to the big boys. So anyway, it's a 2% acro. It's a lot, probably. 2% could easily turn into 10% if things change. And that's very meaningful. Um, Hey Noah, how are your guppies looking on the Ren chart? Let's take a look at Ren real quick. I mean, Ren looks probably stable. Looks stable. It's going horizontal. This is straight horizontal for the last couple of days. This is a nice little run right here, about 15-20%, but it's pulled back. So what you see, check this out. What's obvious here is we need a line. Beep. No, not a horizontal line. I want a trend line. So there's your trend from a high across the top. So you see a bit of a compression where the high is lower than the previous high, but the low is higher than the previous low. I'd probably go from here. I don't know, something like that. Does look a little trendy. But that is a little speculative, and not all trends mean anything. And sometimes just drawing lines on charts is just drawing lines on a chart, and it doesn't mean much. But sometimes it does mean something, and sometimes it does really stick to the trend lines incredibly well. That's what's fascinating about a technical analysis about these lines that really dig into the psychology of people. That's a technical analysis is a very psychological game. All right, so the whole point, no, the title of the stream wasn't the best example of the most important things here, these three words. So you talked about investing in that you're not spending money. You talk about saving. I don't want to save no dollars. What I want to do is accumulate exactly what Pellets wanted me to talk about. Gold, silver, miners, and streamers. I want to accumulate gold and silver. I want to accumulate a leverage position in gold and silver, which is the miners and streamers. Barrick Gold, Newmont, Franco-Nevada, and Wheaton Precious Metals. That's a quick four that are really good. You accumulate them over time, slow, dollar cost average. If it goes down, you buy it. If it goes up, you're buying it. Over time, you have more and more. Because why? It's stupid to accumulate dollars. Dollars are going to be the last bag that nobody wants to hold because it doesn't do anything but lose value. The only thing you're assured to do by having $1 in a bank account uh, is lose value. Your dollars will lose about 10% per year. Now, guess what? The Fed CPI came out and it was what, up 0.4%? They're out of their minds. There's something wrong with those people. It's like they have access to other people that have information and ideas, and they're just so far detached and departed from the general public. It's kind of like they're governing not this country. They're not governing us. They're governing like a something that they think is this country, but it's not this country because this is the damn country. Where it's about 10% per year of your dollars in a bank account that you're losing, that go bye-bye. They evaporate into thin air. It is worthless and meaningless. Yeah, you save up $100,000 for retirement, and next year you have 90, and then next year you got 81. Ugh. There's no reason to save dollars. It's a problem, and that is exactly what I want to untrain people. Stop saving dollars. Save gold coins. You go to AppMex or JM Bullion or come on, you go to a gold broker in the local neighborhood. JM. I don't have them saved. Okay. You go to AppMex, you buy some gold, and you don't have to buy ounces of gold. You go here, um, by weight. I want to buy gold by weight. Gold coins. You buy tenth of an ounce. Not mint. The gold coins are going to be expensive. They're going to be over 2 grand because they're also numismatics. But where's bullion? You could go buy bullion. Sometimes you have to go by what's available because there's so much demand and there's limited supply, which drives up price. Here, look, 1 gram gold bars are 84, 82 to $84 a pop. Now, you accumulate gold in whatever form you can because at least it's going to retain value. And as they destroy the value of the currency, value of the dollar, the gold is going to appreciate relative to the dollar. And you're talking Jim Records or their targets, 15, 20, and I've heard even higher estimates. George Gammon gives great logic and reason why it's much higher than $15,000 an ounce. So that's a big deal. Now that's saving value and growing value. So accumulate these beauties here, accumulate the equities that I mentioned, and you could gamble with shit like this. Now, Tesla, the company, is one of the most important companies I think in recent times. This stock they call this piece of paper is shit. This is not real life. This is fake. This is absolutely fake. There's nothing real about this. Stocks for the last 100 years were based on fundamentals. The stock reflected the company and how well the company was doing. The company had earnings. How much are they spending? How much is the price of stock relative to their earnings? None of this story that you see here in this picture, is real. It does not reflect any of those fundamentals that I just talked about. So, but you can play the technicals. So you can't gamble with this garbage. I say garbage, I want to say it again. It's not the company. This garbage, I mean the stock. It's absolute garbage. It's just shit. So look at this. This is quite interesting. It's about to hit the 200 EMA to the upside and bounce off it as resistance. That's interesting. This is such a bearish chart. You got folks on Robinhood that have no idea what they're doing, piling into this stuff that's appreciated so much percentage points and is so risky. They're going to lose so much money. You know how I know they're going to lose so much money? Because the same thing happened in the crypto space. The garbage got run up so high and it comes crashing down faster than it went up. And this is a trend shift. This is a clear trend shift. This is the first time that you have a trend shift like this. Look, you got run up, run up, run up, run up, run up. You have no deviation relative to the 200 EMA on the 1 hour except here. But look, it fell down and it did nothing. It barely stayed below the moving average. But look at this. This is a violation. This is a deviation. This is a trend deviation. This is a trend shift. You don't fall down, fall up, and not make somewhat of an attempt at a new higher high, and then fall below, and then look like you're hitting this is look like you're hitting the previous support. Look, where's my magic marker? Look, a previous support that fell, and you're turning a previous support into a resistance. Come on, even though the support was barely short-lived for 5 minutes, still the point being this is bearish. This is bearish. And I say that actually with opportunity in mind. These are my price targets. I want to own Tesla, but I want to own a stock that tells the story of the company. And for this stock to even remotely tell the story of the company, it needs to be much lower. I'd love to see it at around $80 a share, maybe even lower. And that's a good deal, and I'd buy it because the company's fine. They got the demand for the vehicle, the growth of the manufacturing, everything about it. You just is aspirational what he does with SpaceX and the satellites and the Starlink and the energy grid and the battery storage and the disruption of the power grid. Oh my God, love the story. This is not the story. This stock is not the story. These are gamblers. These are degenerate gamblers. They can't afford to lose money, but they invested anyway, and it's horrible. So DigiByte just nibble says JM Bullion has the best prices by far. Sure, they pretty much it's all comparable. Apmex, but JM and Apex are my usual go-tos. Not that I bought any physical in a fair amount of time. Plus minus on mining DigiByte. You can mine a little bit. I did back in 2016. I mined. I had 13 GPUs running, 1080 Ti's, and that was fun. Actually, the vast majority of my Digibyte that I have was from mining. At least I believe almost 50% of it, um, which was cool. So I stopped mining. I live in a house. It's a residential setting, so I'm not interested in that type of atmosphere with mining equipment. My wife was ready to kill me, especially after our second child. You don't have any room for mining equipment. So mining is really a business. If you think about it, you need a business plan. You raise some funds. You're able to calculate a return on investment. You're able to calculate revenue. You're able to pay debt and take profit and depreciate your assets. So there's some fascinating things you could do with mining from a business perspective. From a hobbyist perspective, eh, not right now. Some of the goals and interests of the Digibyte community are that how to have mining be a very social process, and that's honorable and admirable. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Digibyte community. Prague POW and things like that. Absolutely incredible. What Josiah does, man, that he doesn't stop. And that's one of the big reasons I love Digibyte is because of what he does. And it's not even dedication at this point. It is undying dedication. That's incredible. And Jared's absolutely an impressive person in every regard that I could describe someone. His experience, his knowledge, much more technical knowledge about blockchain than I could possibly have. My knowledge is not detailed. My knowledge is broad and big picture. My knowledge is macro. I see connections, I see trends, I see tendencies, I see I see colors, so to speak, some shit like that. I see temperature. That's maybe a metaphor that's digestible. That's what I see. I see trends and tendencies, temperature, some shit like that. Mining low, you need a low electricity, so it's complicated. That's the whole thing, Paul. It's a business. You got to calculate. You got to do all the financial calculations to project if it's a profitable enterprise. I like the dollar cost average and buy regularly. I want to buy more rent after the dip, but the F fees are preventing that. So the only option is to save up and hope to buy on the next dip. So why the F fees? You're talking about like a DeFi buy. You go through Change Angel. There's Change Angel will probably route it through a centralized exchange, so you're going to avoid the F fees, and you can avoid the DeFi insanity. So yeah, I know. What's F gas station? What do we got for F fees right now? Oh, 169. Well, it's not the 400 and 500s that I've seen, but you're still talking about 30, 40, $50 transaction fees. I don't wait around for these 2 minutes and these 5 minutes. I get I'll pay 200 gwei. I want my ETH transaction in the next 30 seconds, flat. I pay for it. Yeah, so but I myself have also decreased the amount of DeFi transactions I've done. By the way, this is real deal stuff. When you guys get around the tax season, token tax, they have the vast majority of the protocols integrated at this point. But I have there's some notable issues with my evaluation. I owe much less tax than what is currently reported by Token Tax. So I need them to refine their protocols, but they have the better part of a year. And yeah, what am I going to do with the government? I'm going to say, bill me, give me a payment plan, fuckers. Yeah, I'll pay you. Yeah, when I can, but I'm going to pay them. So it's all about honesty and integrity and good intentions. Like IRS, yes, I will pay you, but I'm going to pay you on my terms. You want to charge me 2% interest because I pay you on my terms? Yeah, you're an asshole, but I'm going to do it. It's my terms. This is not your game. You got to take control of this shit, this game of life. You take it by the horns and you wrap it around and you put it in a chokehold. Okay, everybody? No more beating around the bush. One shot. Eminem this shit. You got one shot, ladies and gentlemen. There's no messing around. You either winning or losing, and that's the honest truth. My wife gets frustrated with me because I think this way, and I have my daughter who's 5, and I talk like this in some regards, winning and losing, and some of that cut and dry type of perspective. And it's difficult for a child to understand, but for an adult, for me, that's it. You either win or you lose. You either made money or you lost money. You either saved money or you didn't. You either made a good decision or a bad decision. You either have financial freedom or you don't. That's it. Stops in the house, always a pleasure. Cheers, brother. Cryptopher, I didn't think of that. Thank you. You're welcome. Um, That's why companies are going to Siberia for mining. Damn right. So Simply Swap, no KYC. There's a lot of Hotbit has no KYC. There's a lot of stuff. Bitfinian has no KYC for the small transactions. There's a lot of places that have a good deal on no KYC. So we're running up on time. I want to talk about. Let's see if there's anything to talk about. So I'm still following this little thing, Statera, which is that hyper deflationary asset. So it's still in this trend formation, and I see this as a falling wedge. It's a quite awkward falling wedge because look how shallow the bottom trend line is, but it is. I mean, it is. This is. You could probably even adjust it to have a bit more slope with some of these touch points, but it's still a falling wedge. So what does that mean? I don't know. That means I'm going to hold it. I only have like $150 worth of this stuff, but it's hyper deflationary. So that's a monetary experiment right there. you know, just saying, worthwhile. I just want to see how it plays out because this thing could all of a sudden rip, and you never know. I don't know. Maybe it gets no attention, nobody cares, and it doesn't matter if there's 10 assets left after all the deflation, and just no, there's no interest because there is no utility. So in the end, if there's no utility, what's the point of an asset? And that's that. So whatever. Um, Plasm. I wanted to show you guys the lock drop because I think I'm going to throw more into Plasm. Plasm's a big deal, and there's a lot of big deals coming out of Polkadot. It's like a floodgate. Staffy protocol, but then there's the awkward auctions, and I find this lock drop to be quite interesting. Um, oh, darn, what's the name of that other network? Oh my God, I just subscribed to them. I want to tell you guys this network. So I found these guys interesting. Following Rio, Rio DeFi, RIO DeFi official is their Twitter at handle. So this is they're trying to be a substrate Polkadot parachain, and they'll have their substrate assets. But here's Plasm, and they do with a lock drop, and this is really cool. So I have 6 Ethereum. 5 of them are locked for 288 more days. One of them is locked for 989 more days. Because I've locked these Ethereum assets, one, I can't touch Ethereum, 6 Ethereum, and what happens in this is only let's say almost a year from now, and this one's over almost 3 years from now. Um, Maybe Ethereum's 10,000 a token by then. 989 days, that'd be nice. I'm about to lock up some more Ethereum because Plasm's a big deal. Plasm uh, there's a lot of partnerships coming out, and Plasm is basically a way to scale on Polkadot, and with the interoperability solutions, just on the Polkadot network side, yet alone the IBC that'll get over to Cosmos and Ethereum and the bridges and the RENs and all this. The potential is incredible. So I've been able to extract my Plasm to my own Plasm address. And this is a wallet that I control the keys for. Not your keys, not your crypto. And I have 556,000 PLM. Now, how much are those worth? I have no idea. But I think they'll be worth a lot. And I sure as hell bet a fair amount. Was this about $2,000, give or take? Maybe I'll throw in another Ethereum or two because I really like these 1,000-day locks. I like the leverage. And, I like forcefully taking a quality asset out of my control. One Ethereum, I'll lock it up. I don't need an Ethereum. If you really need $400, 300 whatever dollars, it's very hard to be investing because $300 isn't going to do anything. There's no financial freedom with $300. You will not win. If you think you're going to turn 300 something bucks using tendies or whatever sushi sashimi takeout token on Uniswap, that's not going to happen because you're going to look for way too much leverage and you're going to lose it. If you shoot for real meaningful, reasonable yield and gain, 5, 10, 15, 20% gains. So there was a huge amount of 20% gains to be caught at the beginning of this cycle with real assets. Synthetics was at 70 cents. That was my biggest investment back when March, April, May. With synthetics at 70 cents. I got a couple 100% off that bad boy. That's how you turn 10 grand into 40, 50 grand. Then the same with Bancor and Kyber Network. Those were 1,000% runs. Those did very well. But that wasn't gambling. These are established projects. Look at this. This is how frustrating this market has become. Synthetics right next to sushi. Now you could argue that sushi has some interesting protocol properties, but the drama surrounding it that has been adopted by SBF Alameda, FTX is owner of the centralized exchange. Absolutely ridiculous. And what Binance is doing with their smart chain, this is disgusting. This is not crypto. This is centralized organizations trying to profit on what was successfully achieved with these decentralized protocols. And they're capturing all this value. This is a heist. This is, it's not criminal, but this is a tragedy. Absolutely a tragedy what's going on. We want decentralized and Binance getting in on. It's ridiculous. It makes me nauseous. Sick to my stomach. Yeah, PLM is not listed. PLM is a substrate asset that there won't be. It's not listed. It's not there yet, my man. Hyperinflationary, Igor says. So yeah, there's a couple of interesting. Well, any of those Masternodes. Here, look, Igor. What do we got? 1236. Masternodes.online. So this was one of the crazes. It was the Masternode fork craze. And then you look for your ROI. And here's your hyperinflationary assets. 7,000%, 6,000%. These are POS inflation, proof of stake inflationary assets. Now, these assets will die. They will all die. Even the ones with the hundreds of percent will all die. It is not sustainable. This is all garbage. Now, you want to talk about legitimate masternodes? There's plenty of them. I can't believe Divvy's. I don't know what Divvy's doing there. But Dash is legitimate. It's stable. But damn, $76. That was up at 1,000. I remember my first Dash at 3. But Zcoin, Syscoin, Pivx. That's I don't know about Pivx nowadays, but it's interesting. Polis, 4, Nix, Dynamic. Although this Dynamic has done horrible with regard to price. It was a very promising tech for a while. I don't know if they slowed down or abandoned development, and if they did, that's very unfortunate. Dynamic did a lot of stuff. Well, that's about it. That's all I would be really interested in. And StakeNet. I don't know why StakeNet's not on the top. That's unfortunate. But Plasm is interesting. So you go to Plasm, lockdrop.plasmnet.io, and you're able to lock some Ethereum and lock into Plasm. Polka projects. Go to polkaprojects.com to review the Polkadot ecosystem projects that are coming online. Look for real assets. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's building. That's nice to see. Nice to see Ren on there. God, that's a hell of a project, guys. But stop gambling. You know, look, this is a gamble. Come on. Come on. If you don't see it, then I'm going to tell you. This is gambling. I don't know what it's going to be, but look, what is not gambling? Not gambling is seeing Ren getting pinned. Is that Ren? That looks good right there. Did I draw this earlier on the stream? That looks like a good pinch right there. Let's zoom out for a second. Huh. I could break up. This is questionably bullish momentum because it is obviously higher than the previous low. That's interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You want me to fly over the Bancor chart for a second? And of course, Paul, I got that bad boy up because that's how I roll. So Bancor's under pressure. This looks like the Tesla chart in some regards, unfortunately. So Bancor broke through the previous low that was set when it first fell out of its ascending channel. And that's bearish. And even worse, it turned a previous support into resistance. So this is where you hold. This is where you wait. This is where you don't have a position. You got to wait for more information, wait for a trend formation, wait for a resistance to flip support. You got to wait for a bullish trend. Like, check this out. I would rather buy Bancor here than here. Here, let's get a little magic marker. I would buy Bancor here rather than down here. Because down here, you have no idea what's going on. But here, you got bullish momentum. You got a previous high that's falling down. It's still a higher low than the previous low, so you have bullish confluence. You got to wait. Wait for 10% rips. You wait for it to go up before you get in. That's how you have more of an assurance or more of a likelihood that it will go up rather than down. And if it goes down, you exit. Quick to sell, picky to buy. Yes, this is a wait for entry, but there's no doubt this is an incredible chart to follow the V2 technology. Listen, those boys over there, I have very high admiration and hopes for what they've built, what they've done, and likely what they're going to do. Now, Kyber is interesting as well. Kyber fell through support as well. Check it out. This is a multi-year support, which is even worse. So Kyber did the same thing. A previous resistance flip support. Here's your resistance. Here's your support, which resistance which broke, and here's your support. And here's your support, which failed and flipped resistance. This is a hold and wait position as well. You're welcome, Paul. 12:41 on a Friday. I'm taking the weekend off. I thank you, everyone, always for joining. It is always a pleasure. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing my rants and my monologues. It means the world to me. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Hit me up with questions on Twitter, and we're going to keep the party going strong with education. Protect those gains, making good decisions. And start it up again on Monday. Y'all have a wonderful weekend now. Peace.